Do you think Ether can become a suitable store of value as Bitcoin is? And what in DeFi made you become kind of more bullish on crypto in general?
So the biggest limitation right now are transaction costs, right? They're ridiculous, right? To do anything. And because of that, it actually it puts a lid on the number of actual transactions. And you see people being pushed towards private blockchains like Top Shots and different NFTs, right? And different tokens and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think if ETH, and I don't remember all the new things that are the 1559 where they're going to burn, Ethereum, and 2.0, where hopefully the transactions will be faster and cheaper. But like some people say, 2.0 is right around the corner and always will be. So, I don't know what's going to happen there. But smart contracts are real. And smart contracts on blockchain remind me of the early days of the internet, when people realized that there is a network effect, and that with just HTML and then some basic JavaScript, you could do a whole lot of business and create a whole lot of new businesses. So there were companies that only sold books in bookstores, and then Amazon came around. There were only radio and television, and then AudioNet, putting audio and video as broadcast.com came along, and now streaming's ubiquitous. And so, but it took 25 years to get from there to here. And so we're right at that point right now where smart contracts in particular on top of blockchain allow people to take anything that's digital and turn it into a product and sell it. But what's really changed everything, I think, in terms of the smart contracts is the fact that it's becoming friction-free banking, where it's easier, even though you have to over collateralize, it's easier to borrow in seconds. Even again, still, I guess it depends on where else you'd be borrowing, but still relatively high transaction costs. But still, if you've got $200 in Ether or Bitcoin and you want to wrap it, and then you want to borrow $100 at 2.3%, it takes you 15 seconds, right? And that's incredible.
Between Bitcoin and ETH, is it split like halfway, or do you own more of one or the other?
I own more ETH in terms of just number of ETH. I own more in dollar in Bitcoin, but that's changing as I'll wait for a little pullback on Ethereum since it's had a run up. But I just bought some Aave yesterday. Nice. And so right before it's run up. So I've been buying Aave for a while. But I'd say if I'm going to buy new stuff, that's probably a better way to answer it. I'd buy Ethereum on a pullback before I buy Bitcoin. And so when Bitcoin pulled back to 30,000, I didn't buy more. When Ethereum pulled back to 1,000, I did buy more. And if it did that again, I would buy more, because for the very reasons we discussed. I think Ethereum is going up and up and up and up because that's the easiest way to yield farm. Bitcoin is not an easy way to yield farm for most people, right? You've got to do your swaps and But Ethereum is easy. And, and that's become the currency for all your swaps or most swaps, right? And it's become the currency for a lot of, smart contracts. And so people are seeing that. And as more people are coming in, I think that's why, I've owned a lot of Ethereum since they started doing smart contracts for, over 3 years, whatever it's been. Maybe I don't know all the dates but anyways. But yeah, so I think Ethereum right now has an advantage over Bitcoin in terms of regular people, not as a store of value and transactional, because as more people get into NFTs, all they're going to know is Ethereum. And they're all going to have to buy Ethereum in order to do it, right?
Wow. Okay. So you think Ether has an advantage over Bitcoin as a store of value?
Right now, for new people coming in, yes.
Wow.
Because, Jen, here's my logic, and I know everybody's going to bitch at me, right? So if I decide I like digital art, how do I buy digital art?
With Ether.
Yeah. And if there's thousands of people a day, 2,000 people a day coming in, relative to the size of the number of people doing this, right? That's impactful. Because every now and then, one of them is going to be a whale and they're going to buy 1,000 Ether, right? And because they want to go out there and be able to buy that big artwork. And then on top of that, you're going to start to see music and entertainment videos and movies, for that matter, posted on OpenSea or Rarible or wherever, right? Because that's a better way to sell it. And what are they going to see? And what are they going to have to do if they want to do their own store? They're going to have to spend their $500 or $600 in Ethereum, right? You know, half an ETH just to be able to play the game. There's nothing in this ecosystem that says you have to buy Bitcoin first in order to transact or do something within DeFi or within any of the digital goods marketplace, right?
That means you think that NFTs and digital collectibles, digital goods will be the way to bring in like more people into crypto.
Yeah. Now, you know, what Dapper and Grow are doing with NBA Top Shots, you know, that's, you know, kind of a unique environment, and that's bringing people in, but that's getting them excited about digital goods. There are moments there, right? And so, you know, I buy all the moments for Dallas Mavericks, at least so I have one for every player on the Dallas Mavericks that's available, right? Just so I can learn it. And, you know, so you go to Crypto Slam and you get to see the number of customers and you get to see the number of users, and you see that number creeping up. And those people are becoming more and more comfortable with buying and selling digital goods. And look, you know, NBA Top Shot's going through a whole lot of grief right now, just in terms of being able to keep up with the volume. And a lot of them are, right? Because blockchain doesn't scale great for some of these applications in terms of the user interface and the UX. But most people coming in right now fall into two categories: store value, I want to make some money, Bitcoin, right? So if you're investor first, Bitcoin. But everybody else, collectors, why would they buy Bitcoin?
Right. And about like collectibles.
Look, I'm still learning this, right? You got to tell me if I'm right, or if you think I'm right or wrong.
Oh, okay. No, I think you're right. I mean, just to be able to be involved in DeFi, NFTs, digital arts, digital collectibles of any kind, I'd say, you know, 99% or a large majority of all that activity is happening on Ethereum. I know that there are other blockchains trying to capture some of that market share with NFTs, like Flow, I think, is doing a lot on NFTs. But I mean,
Flow, yeah, I call it Grow. But yeah. Sorry.
So no, that's absolutely the case, and I think there's kind of a solid narrative. You talk about narrative around kind of Bitcoin as a store of value and digital gold, and I think that's not going anywhere. But because it has that kind of one simple as it by design architecture, that it just can't be that layer for decentralized finance.
No, I get that, right? I mean, when you take the block size of 1 megabit or whatever it was, and there's, you know, and now, you know, that's the whole reason behind, what is it, Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin SV, whatever it is, right? That's designed to do transactions. You know, it made its bed to be a store of value. And, you know, the algorithmic scarcity is a great selling tool. It's a great narrative, and that's not going away. And, you know, I can see the argument being made for people to put it in their treasury and to, you know, to use it as an alternative. And that's good. But, you know, for those, part of the problem is for those people who want to yield farm, trying to go through the process of going into wrapped Bitcoin, right, and making that swap.
Yeah.
You got to hope that they, you know, that the people behind Wrap Bitcoin are doing their job to make sure that it tracks exactly right. And there's some risk associated with that. Yeah. And it's just complex and hard to do. I mean, not hard to do.
There's no reason. I mean, there's no reason to go and wrap your Bitcoin if you can just directly do it with ETH.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period, end of story.
Yeah.
Period, end of story.